Hello and welcome. Today, we are going to dive deep into the art and science of prompt engineering. This is all about how you can get exactly what you want from AI, how to go from being just a casual user to a true pro, a true collaborator. So let's get right into it. So, does this sound familiar? You ask an AI to do something, and the response you get is, well, it's fine, I guess, but it's not great. It feels kind of generic, maybe it's unhelpful, or it just completely misses the point. It is such a common frustration, but here's the good news. It's totally fixable. The secret isn't some magic button in the AI, it's all about how you ask. It's in the prompt.
So what even is a prompt? Well, at its most basic, it's just what you type into the box. But it is so much more than that. I want you to think of it as the bridge between what's in your head, your intention, and the machine's ability to understand it. The stronger and clearer you build that bridge, the better the result you're going to get on the other side. You've really got to remember this. The quality of the output is directly tied to the quality of your input.
Okay, so to get us there, we're going to climb this sort of ladder of mastery together. First, we'll lay down the foundations of just being clear. Then we'll level up by adding some structure and even a few examples. After that, we'll get into the really cool stuff, how to actually guide the AI's thinking process. And then finally, we'll wrap it all up and talk about the kind of mindset you need for your ongoing prompt engineering journey. So let's take that first step, which is honestly the most critical one, achieving crystal clear communication. This is like the 80-20 of prompt engineering. If you can just get this part right, you will solve the vast majority of your problems. I mean, just look at the night and day difference here. Asking an AI to tell me about history, where does it even start with that? It's like walking into a library and asking the librarian for a book. Sure, you'll get something, but it's probably not what you actually wanted. But asking for a brief overview of the causes and consequences of the French Revolution, wow, now that's specific, that's actionable. It just cuts through all the ambiguity and gives the AI a really clear target to aim for. And to get that kind of clarity, you can use this super simple 4-part framework. First up, persona. Tell the AI who it should be, like, you're an expert historian, or who you are, I'm a high school student working on a project. Second is the task. Be super direct with your verb. Don't just hint at it, say, summarize, analyze, write an email. Third, context. This is the why. It's all the background info the AI needs to do a good job. And last but not least, format. How do you want it back? Tell it. A bulleted list, a JSON object, a simple paragraph.
This quote from the team at Anthropic just nails the mindset you need. Think of the AI like a brilliant new hire. It's incredibly smart, ready to work, but it has zero context about your project, your company, or your personal style. You have to provide that context. A good rule of thumb is, if a human colleague would be confused by your request, the AI is definitely going to be confused too. Okay, so you've got clarity down. Let's start climbing to that next level on the ladder. We're going to move beyond just being clear and start giving our prompts some real structure, and even teach the AI by showing it what we want, not just telling it. Now, a super powerful and surprisingly easy way to add structure is to use these things that look like XML tags. By wrapping different parts of your prompt in tags like, say, instructions or context, you're basically drawing boxes around your ideas for the AI. It really helps the model tell the difference between what you're asking it to do and the information it needs to do it. This is a game changer for really complex prompts. All right, now for what I think is one of the most powerful concepts in all of prompt engineering, in-context learning. This is the AI's wild ability to learn a new skill right on the spot just from the examples you give it inside the prompt. You're not actually retraining the whole model, you're just sort of coaching it for a moment, getting it to respond exactly how you want for this one specific task. It's amazing. And that brings us to this idea of zero-shot versus few-shot prompting. Zero-shot is what you probably do all the time. It's a direct command. Translate cheese to French. The model already knows how to do that, no problem. But few-shot prompting is different. By showing it an example like English, see, French, mer, you're not just asking for a translation, you're showing it the exact format and pattern you expect. This makes a huge difference in performance for anything that's new or a little tricky. But you can't just throw any old examples in there. You've got to be strategic. Research shows that somewhere between 3 and 5 examples is usually the sweet spot. And get this, the order you put them in can actually change the result. Weird, right? So keep your format consistent, like you see here with the Q&A style. And most importantly, make sure your examples are as close as possible to the actual problem you're trying to solve. We've built our foundation of clarity. We've added structure. Now we're at the top of the ladder. This is where we stop just giving the AI a task to do, and we actually start guiding its reasoning process. This is how you tackle really, really complex problems. And the key technique here is called chain of thought prompting. So instead of just asking for the final answer, you actually ask the model to show its work. You prompt it to think through the problem step by step, out loud. By forcing it to spell out its reasoning, you dramatically cut down on errors, especially for things like math, logic puzzles, complex reasoning tasks.
And here's the craziest part. A lot of the time, all it takes is this one simple phrase. Just adding "let's think step by step" to the end of your prompt can be enough to trigger this much more careful, deliberate, and accurate way of thinking from the model. It is seriously one of the most effective, low-effort tricks in the entire prompt engineering playbook. Here's a really simple but perfect example. The standard prompt just asks for the answer and hopes for the best, but the chain of thought prompt actually shows the model how to get there. It breaks the problem down. Okay, one basket has 3 balls, so 2 baskets have 3 times 2, which equals 6 balls. By modeling this process, you make it so much more likely that the AI is going to get the right answer. And chain of thought? Well, that's just the beginning. This field is just exploding with even more advanced techniques. You've got things like plan and solve, where the AI literally makes a plan before it starts. There's tree of thought, which lets it explore a bunch of different reasoning paths to find the best one. And then there's self-refine, where the model can generate an answer, critique its own answer, and then improve it, all in one go. So we've climbed the whole ladder, from just giving basic instructions all the way up to guiding complex reasoning. Now, let's just take a moment to recap this whole journey and really focus on the mindset you need to become a master at this. So here it is, the whole journey in a nutshell. It all starts with clarity: who, what, why, and how. Then you level up by adding structure with those tags and teaching with examples. And finally, you reach the top rung by guiding the process itself, using powerful techniques like chain of thought to turn the AI into a much better reasoner. This right here might be the most important takeaway. Prompt engineering is not about finding some single perfect prompt that always works. It's a process. It's iterative. You try something, you look at the output, and then you tweak your approach. You experiment. Maybe you add another example, or you rephrase an instruction, or you ask it to think step by step. It's this constant cycle of refinement. And all of this leads to a really fundamental shift in how we should think about this stuff. We have to move away from the old idea of just giving commands to a machine. Prompting, especially at these higher levels we've talked about, is really a form of collaboration. You are working with an intelligent system, guiding it, giving it context, and teaching it how to help you in the best way possible. So that's the journey. We've gone from just giving commands to becoming a true collaborator. You now have the tools you need to build that strong, clear bridge between what you want and what the machine understands. This is a whole new way of working, a new way of creating. So the only question left is, what will you create with it?